Discordant, first scene. Fade in, interior chamber, night. A square space adapted for musician use, but still enforcing the message of, you don't belong here. Lots of slimy bits against the decaying stone wall. The boarded-up doorway allows slithers of light rays to struggle through onto a pristine grand piano. Sandy Young, 18, runs her agile fingers across the keys, making beautiful music, saddened. Tears drip from her bloodshot eyes onto her nude breasts and some splat on the keys. She faces a filled-out submission form to Juilliard on the piano in front of her. An ominous dark figure with a high collar towers behind her, holding a recording device in one hand and a drooping whip in the other. Whip! Sandy stops playing, jerks away in pain from the whip lashing at her exposed back. Dark figure raises the whip again.
When the music hits you, you'll feel no more pain.
Sandy plays more passionately with each lash. Lethal slashes grow deep and dense as the whip lands on her young back. Dazzling, death-dealing. The music grows faint. Sandy flops forward and hits her head onto the keys. A cluster of a discord brings the music lesson to an abrupt end. Dark figure presses stop on the recording device and overlooks Sandy splayed over the piano, lifeless. Dark figure's mobile vibrates, receiving a text notification. Bank of America, money in, $5,000. Interior Chinese electronics store, counter, night. Casey Burton, 18, a teen with autism, waits in line. He eyes a cell phone bulging from the person's pocket standing in front of him. Casey bounces his head to the beat of the headphones, pounding music into his ears, hawk-eyeing around. Nervously, he flicks his fingers. Droplets of sweat form on his forehead. With a swift flick of his wrist, the bulging cell phone is his, everybody unaware. He gets to the front and places a phone charger onto the counter and then some cash. Casey eyes the perfect display of electronic accessories in front of the counter and then hawks the aisle.
Yo, you're holding up the line?
Casey plucks at an earphone, smiles and stretches his neck forward at the cashier, 45, a fat Asian stain collector with yellow teeth and a big wart on his lip.
You're holding up the line.
Cashier tilts his head. What the fuck? Casey cannot keep his eyes off the wart. Staring, flicks his fingers, showing the earphone.
Ed Sheehan.
And slips something from the display into his pocket.
Awesome composer. Listen. And teacher.
Cashier grunts at Casey and pushes his hand, holding the earphone, back against his chest.
He could be Mila's ticket to Juilliard, if only he'll come to Belfort. Guess again, he's just so good. He makes people's careers.
Makes? Sounds weird. Yeah, yet again, your sister obsesses over exotic boys. Can't say no to them.
Casey stares at the cashier's wart, making him uncomfortable, then sneaks another product from the shelf in front of the counter into his pocket. Another one. Cashier unaware.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Another glance at the wart. Cashier becomes hot under the collar.
Don't touch it or it'll spread.
Casey turns toward the entrance.
You definitely don't want to look like Bubble Wrap.
Out of nowhere, Cashier pulls at Casey's backpack. He jerks back, but Cashier's brute strength rips it open and spills many electronic accessories onto the floor. Their eyes meet. Cashier clenches his teeth and grunts like a warthog. Casey jolts to the exit.
Stop him!
The security guard takes on a football stance, pounces at Casey, but tackles a DVD rack instead. Casey sidesteps, running through the aisles and out the back. Exterior, Beaufort sidewalk, night. Casey exits the store, bumping into pedestrians. His hands move swift in and out of their pockets. Cheeky 1, 2, 3 mobile devices snap from their pockets. Fixes the earphones in his ears and thumbs through the selection of tracks in his iPod. Flips the ones he pickpocketed in his hand. He trips on the grate, bumps into a tall guy, and knocks the hot goods to the ground by accident. It slips through the grate and disappears into the underground.
Well done. Gravity check much?
Casey falls to his knees, pressing his eyes against the street, peeps through the gaps.
You just lost me my cash.
Just an accident, asshole.
Tall guy throws his hands in the air. He doesn't see Mila Burton, 18, a gorgeous blue-eyed girl behind him, and knocks her to the ground.
Just an accident? Damn.
Casey notices Mila on the ground and tall guy over her. Within a split second, Casey thrusts him to the curb.
I'm okay.
Mila grabs Casey's hand and pulls herself to her feet. Casey focuses on tall guy running away. Mila holds out a wallet, smirks.
I told you I can help.
Casey sees a guy approaching, earphones in his ears. This is Larkin, 25, a tantalizingly handsome guy under the funky-faced paint pattern, unrecognizable. Next to him, a young female carrying a violin case, her face painted like Larkin's. At a brisk pace, he types on his mobile. Lesson at 10 a.m., and retrieves an iPod from his pocket, swiping his fingers across the display. Casey glides forward, targeted at the iPod in Larkin's hand. Casey distracts him with a sudden bump. On it, his hands are swift, snatches the iPod and dogs it. The earphones pluck from Larkin's ears.
Hey, you shit! Wait!
Larkin leaves female behind and chases Casey down the street. He's faster, catching up. Mila and female lock eyes. Mila scampers away.